विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। So verse 278. नाविद्या नापि तत्कार्यं बोधं बाधितुमर्हति पुरैव तत्त्वबोधेन बाधिते ते उभे यतः. So in these verses beginning from verse 251, Vidyaranya talks about this Jivan Mukti Phalam. Jnani's Jivan Mukti has been talked about. In that mainly this whole thing is an exposition on the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad mantra. Atmanam chet vijaniya tayamasmiti purushah Kimichan kasya kamaya shariram anusanjvaret. So the first line indicates the nature of knowledge. Very amazing it is. This knowledge is such by which one drops means and ends. If you gain knowledge, you will not remain a seeker. That is the freedom, where you don't have to seek anything. Person seeks varieties of the things, gains that sought, experience that a sense of fulfillment for a moment, again becomes a seeker. Again he gains a goal sought. So there is an end all the time. And to achieve the end, there are means also. A life of means and ends is a life of a samsari. Pujya Swamiji calls it as a life of becoming. Every end you associate to yourself. You don't want any end for the sake of end. This is amazing knowledge. Jivan Mukti means the person, from person's mind, means and ends have gone. Amazing. That is only possible if you have gained fulfillment. That's only possible. Means ends are basically meant for fulfillment. So, Jivan Mukti or this person, basically he does not look upon, now let's come to our point, does not look upon moksha as a very goal. Why? Because that is oneself. He understood this is the knowledge which tells you you have not to seek anything in your life. As you are fine. If you want to change yourself, it's a life of becoming. That is samsara. As you are fine. As you are complete. So Jnani does not have basically a sadhyam goal. He never looks upon himself as a sadhaka. The real freedom is when you don't look upon yourself as a seeker. Remaining a seeker. In your awareness, if you are a seeker, there is no respite. There is no respite. Only respite comes when you drop the notion that you are a seeker, or seeking drops, and so you are no more a seeker. So basically, he does not look upon himself as a seeker. He does not require any sadhaka. He does not look upon as a sadhaka himself. He does not look upon the means, because sadhanam also is not there. If you are not a sadhaka, where is sadhanam? Why? Because there is no sadhya. In fact, this is a qualification. The jignasu is a one who knows that, really speaking, to understand, that I am not a sadhaka. I should be clear that I am Brahman. I am no more a sadhaka. I am not an individual who is a seeker. I am siddha, not sadhaka. Already siddha. Already siddha. More you are not aware of that, you remain sadhaka. And then life after life, sadhaka employs the means, sadhanam, gain some sadhya. Sadhya, basically any sadhya when you achieve, you fall back to yourself. That thing basically pushes you, yourself to yourself. And momentarily, when you are with yourself, there is a respite. That is why Sthita Prajna has been defined as Atmani eva Atmana tushta. There is no respite anywhere in the world, by changing whatever you do. Whatever an amount of jumping you want to do, you do. More you jump, more you are aware, more you are away from this goal, moksha. The clarity is this, that I don't require to do anything but to correct my understanding of myself. That's it. The seeker is the sought. So that's how this Jivan Mukti is this. I don't look upon myself as a seeker. There is nothing called sought, and therefore there is no means sadhanam also. Anyway, so this Vidyaranya says sadhanam generally is divided into two. There are two. The whole Veda is looked upon as only in two parts. That was a division I just came across in one Paramacharya's book. He says Vedas, the one type of division of the Veda is this, and that is pravrutti nivrutti lakshana dharma. Even Bhashyakara has said in Bhagavad Gita Upodghata Bhashyam, while introducing the Bhagavad Gita, he said this is a Vedokta dharma. Gita Shastram idam Vedokta dharma pravrutti nivrutti lakshanasya. So this is pravrutti lakshanam, karma yoga, and nivrutti lakshanam, jnana yoga. One for jnana yogyata prapti, other for jnana prapti. And this jnani, this Jivan Mukta, does not require jnana yogyata pravrutti. He does not require those means. Also, he does not require nivrutti, because he doesn't need jnana. So that both pravrutti and nivrutti are not relevant for him as a sadhanam. Then question is, if he is a Jivan Mukta and pravrutti also is not required, karma yoga is not required, nivrutti jnana yoga is not required, then what will govern his life? He is a Jivan Mukta. What will govern his life? Either pravrutti will be there, either nivrutti will be there. You said he doesn't require either of the means, because he knows that I am free, and therefore he doesn't have any sadhyam, and therefore no means are required. then, well, pravritti is not required, nivritti is not required, then what will govern his life? Sadrusham cheshtate swasyaha prakriter jnanavan. And therefore, in case of a jnani, basically, well, goal does not require his lifestyle. His sabhava only governs his lifestyle. We discussed this very much. And according to his sabhava, well, he may take to continuation of a pravritti or a nivritti. We should understand very well present nivritti on the part of a jnani and previous nivritti in his life are entirely different. So basically, earlier it was nivritti as a sadhanam. Nivritti means a life of commitment to knowledge, otherwise called sannyasa, otherwise called a total commitment to the knowledge. That's called nivritti. That is essential. And therefore, nivritti, previously nivritti he was having, that's a different. Now he has a nivritti, even though he doesn't require nivritti and still he has a nivritti, that's due to his sabhava. And you will find some jnanis, they remain nivritta. They don't become active. Therefore, it is based on sabhava. So, well, if he doesn't, if he doesn't require nivritti now, then why should he continue nivritti? Well, we say that is his sabhava. And other jnanis basically practice nivritti temporarily. Commitment to the knowledge, that is temporarily, that is required, but that is there. Now he doesn't require nivritti, then his sabhava is, well, basically to engage into certain activity. So he gives up a quiet life and goes back to the society and become active. And so that is how, and such thing is, it's an Ishvara's arrangement. That's how in India now you find the great institutions, knowledge, which cater knowledge. So some jnani has established institutions like Puja Swamiji, etc. And then the others are getting benefit. That's a life of pravritti on the part of a jnani to establish the institutions. So anyway, but both the things are there. There are other teachers also who have established institutions and which cater to the knowledge. Anyway, but in that pravritti also, well, he may be involved in a laukika sadhanam. He can become even a mathadipati also and does a lot of puja also. Still, he is not a karma yogi or karmi. Jnani does not look upon him as a karma yogi means sadhaka, seeker. Jnani does not look upon him as a sadhaka for puja, to gain some kind of a sadhyam, etc. He does not look forward to God also in one way. No pleading. Simply they call as a kushala prashna. He may go to temple and says to God, "Hi, how are you?" And so Bhagavan also tells to him, "How are you?" So then, really, he doesn't need. No, Swamiji, he is going to temple because he has some agenda. No, then he is a sadhaka. Then still he is in the process. He may pray, even for a Lokasangra, he may pray, etc. That you may call it as an agenda, but that is really not his own agenda, honestly speaking. That's not his agenda. Please understand, any agenda on the part of a person residing in the heart, I will not call him a liberated person. You are bound to your agenda. Agenda will make you active. Agenda will compel you for the activity. Where is freedom? Freedom means freedom. It's an absolute freedom. Absolute freedom. When there is an absolute freedom, you don't have your own agenda, then Ishvara functions through you. Yeah, then Ishvara functions through you. That's how even Sankalpa of a Lokasangra, etc., we say Sadrusham Cheshtate Sasyaha. Due to his sabhava, he was a very engaged earlier also, and he temporarily took a nivritti and gained jnanam, etc., life of committing to the knowledge, etc. He definitely, now he is a jnani, but then his own sabha, basically prakriti. So, well, to be active, then he is active yet, but now Ishvara functions through him. That's how it is. Because he doesn't have his own agenda. There is no individual at all. Individual has an agenda. Otherwise, where is the agenda? All the time when you look upon yourself as a Brahman and not an Ahankara, you don't have any agenda. Neither you are looking upon yourself as a Karta, Bhokta, etc. And therefore, anyway, So these are the topics. What is this Jivan Mukti? Trupti Prapti. This is Trupti. This is the Trupti. Even he is active or he is not active. Nivrutta or Pravutta, either way. So anyway, so this Jnani basically maybe residing in a cave or not doing any kind of religious practice, not doing any parayana, puja, japa, etc. Or he may be active. For a Jnani, it doesn't make any difference. No compulsion for pravritti or nivritti. Even Veda takes away the hand. Veda also. Nistray gunne pathi vicharatam ko vidhi ko nishedah. This is the freedom where Shastra cannot tell you anything. You imagine. You are bound by everything, and for many things, then as a citizen, like we are bound by the laws, etc. Same way, for a religious person or a spiritual seeker also, Shastra is Shasanat Shastram. And therefore, at least Shastra rules over you. Once you gain a Jnanam through Shastra, then Shastra also lifts away the control. Anyway, so this is just regarding this Jivan Mukti. And now I will refer to verse 277, in which Purvapakshi raised a question. Buddhashet na bubhutseta napyasau buddhyate punaha abadad anuvarteta bodho na tu anya sadhana. Purvapakshi has raised a question. Okay. He says, well, Jnani may not require any pravritti, nivritti, anything. Wherever he is fine. He's complete, etc. But we feel, should not he require nivritti to preserve his jnanam? Well, if he becomes active, jnanam can be evaporate. When you remain in an enclosed atmosphere, and you will have a nishtha in Brahman. But once you go out, go in the world, and then this Brahma Jnanam will go away. So he should remain basically nivritta. Vidyaranya says Jnanam cannot be negated by anything. Meditation also is not required. Where is a question of any other thing? And this is a topic today. So if Jnanam is not valid, it is definitely going to be negated. But then in Jnanam is not valid. That statement is not valid. Okay? Jnanam, when you say Jnanam, it's automatically valid. Jnanam is the one which is generated through the valid means of knowledge. So there is a validity in Jnanam. And therefore, such kind of a thing is not there. And valid knowledge cannot be threatened by any other pramana also. Abaditam, right? Abaditam, anadigatam, arthavat, bodhakam pramanam. One other pramanas, cannot have an access to this. All other pramanas other than the Shastra have an access to Anatma. And Shastra has access in Atma. And therefore, basically, when Shastra gives you knowledge, that knowledge, since other pramanas do not have any access to this knowledge, they cannot question also anything in this. And I have given you examples, knowledge given by the eyes in terms of colors and forms, etc. That knowledge of colors and forms cannot be, doubted by ears, etc. And therefore, so basically, nothing can affect this knowledge. Not even violent, that's what we are going to discuss. Not even a violent emotion, not activity, any kind of an activity can threaten this valid knowledge. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 cannot be threatened by your sorrow. Great amount of sorrow you have. Huh? For days together you remain sorrowful, but then even after that, if somebody asks you 2 plus 2, you will say 4. Anyway, experience, emotion cannot challenge knowledge. Experience of a worst form of a sorrow also cannot challenge valid knowledge. That I, the witness, is a Ananda Swarupa, etc. Yeah, Pratibimba Ananda, which is generated in the mind in the form of a thought, right? Well, that will be missed when you become sorrowful. When your mind is sorrowful, that Pratibimba Ananda definitely is missed. So, sorrow can disturb this Pratibimba Ananda, but it cannot challenge this knowledge that I am the witness, which is limitless, Brahman, which is Bimbananda, etc. Well, in the case of Brahmajnanam, so nothing can be, it cannot be affected by any activity, any emotion, etc. So, two things are there. Valid source of knowledge, if it is there, then the Jnanam is valid. That is one thing. And well, Shastra is a valid source of knowledge. It's a Paurushaya. It is from Ishvara alone, right? It is not generated by Ishvara. Vedas are not generated. Shastra yonitvat, shastrasyapi yonihi. So basically, this Brahman, the Ishvara, who is the even cause of this Veda, but knowledge is always there with the Ishvara. And therefore, only thing is it manifests at the time of creation. And therefore, it is nirdushta pramanam. It is very valid. And so, therefore, the Jnanam, the Brahmajnanam given by this Veda is a valid, because the source is valid. That's the one thing. And the second thing is, all pramana other than the Shastra, well, even though they have some defect, etc., but then they deal with the Anatma. And therefore, we have nothing to worry. Because they are Paurushaya Pramana. They are mainly, you can define into parts. Paurushaya Pramana has a dosha. There are some dosha, 6 doshas are there. I don't remember right now. Perhaps I think in Pancadasi it might have come, but I don't remember right now. Many doshas are there. So, Paurushaya Pramana has a dosha, but fortunately they deal with Anatma. And the second Pramana is a Shastra, which is a Nirdushta. It comes from Ishvara. And therefore, the Jnanam generated by the Shastra, Brahmajnanam, is valid. It only deals with Atma. And therefore, Paurushaya Pramana deals with Anatma, Shastra Pramana deals with Atma. One is always defective, and it is defective. Even in Anatma, there is no final word. There is no final word. In fact, what they discovered today, they themselves, in a next conference, one of them will negate in scientists, etc. So there is no final answer, and there will not be any final answer, because it is born of Maya. What is born of Maya cannot have a final answer. Maya being mithya, what comes out of the Maya, or the very manifestation of Maya is mithya, and mithya means there is no final word. If there is a final word, it becomes satyam. And therefore, basically, this is like this. And therefore, this Jnanam being valid cannot be evaporated by any kind of a activity. Nothing can threaten the knowledge. This is just, this is a topic we are going to discuss. Okay, we understood that any amount of activity, any kind of emotional upheaval, etc., nothing can disturb knowledge. We understood, valid knowledge. Our question is different. What? He says in verse 278, which we are seeing right now, that avidya or world may not threaten this jnanam, that we understand. But suppose avidya vasana comes. Avidya vasana is there. It is very much there, right? Avidya, even after gaining knowledge, avidya lesha we call. It is there. That is how the body continues. Very ahankara continues. This is all avidya lesha. Ahankara continues. So all this avidya vasana, avidya lesha is there, and they come and will affect the jnanam. Avidya has gone, okay. And the born of avidya, that world, etc., also may not threaten jnanam. But avidya vasana come and will affect the jnanam. That's the question. So, why do you say like that? He says, jnanam does not destroy vasana. That's true. Jnanam does not destroy vasana. Therefore, Jivan Mukta has, he has a certain habits of eating certain type of food. That's his impression. Habit means what? Vasana. And he continues. Therefore, even after jnanam, if certain habits continue, therefore vasanas are not destroyed. And therefore, avidya vasana also can come and threaten this jnana. Very good. Then, I told you, Sureshwaracharya in Neshkama Siddhi, it has come in the first chapter, in the 38th verse. He also discusses, Vidyaranya also discusses, both have raised this issue. Their answers are different. First, I will give you Sureshwaracharya's answer, Neshkama Siddhi. So, Sureshwaracharya says, he raises this question that will not avidya vasana threaten the jnana? And then he answers himself. He created Purvapaksha. That he says that how does he has become jnani? Oh, that Viparita Bhavana Nivrutti has taken place. Okay, Viparita Bhavana means this all Dehatma Bhavana, born of avidya? Yeah. That has gone by what? By another kind of a vasana generated, another habit that I am Brahman, etc. So that Vidya Vasana is also there or not? Yeah, it is there. So avidya Vasana, whenever it is generated, it will be neutralized by Vidya Vasana. And so Jnana Vasana will be invoked and falsify all of them. And therefore Jnani does not require Nivrutti for protecting Jnanam. From avidya or avidya Vasana, this, whenever it arises, Jnana Vasana can destroy it. And this is very simple. Now two types of Vasanas are there. Then sometime avidya Vasana will win over to Vidya Vasana. And Vidya Vasana will be defeated and will go away. Sir, what is stronger, you should know. Vidya Vasana is stronger or Avidya Vasana is stronger? Well, Vidya Vasana is based on what? What is the Vidya? Vidya is this, that I am Brahman. That Brahman is Satyavastu or Mithyavastu? No, it is Satyavastu. Then the Brahma Jnanam is what? Comparatively has a more reality or less reality? More reality. More reality, more stronger. What is avidya is mithya actually. And therefore avidya vasana also is mithya. And therefore what is based on a satyavastu is stronger than what is based on mithyavastu. And he is going to explain beautifully this part. First let's see what is said in the vasana. In this verse. Na avidya napi tat karyam. Avidya, na avidya. So definitely avidya cannot threaten this knowledge. Napi tat karyam. Avidya karyam. Avidya karyam also cannot threaten it. What is avidya karyam? You know, adhyasa, etc. Aham pita, aham karta, aham bhokta, aham manushya, aham sadhaka. All this is all avidya karyam. And all forms of mamakara also, they are also avidya karyam. Every worry of family, etc. is also avidya karyam. So this avidya napi tat karyam bodham, knowledge, badhitum na arhati. So they do not have a capacity to negate this knowledge, brahmajnanam, because they are made useless. Knowledge has made avidya and avidya karyam useless. Ahankara, which is born of avidya, they call avidya karyam. So avidya also is mithya, avidya karyam is also mithya. Avidya is also mithya. In fact, avidya shines. The very existence of avidya and its experience takes place in the presence of sakshi, consciousness, and therefore they do not have a capacity to negate this knowledge, because by this knowledge they were made mithya or useless. Pura eva. See? Pura. Not now. Now he is a nishtha. Pura. Shravana kale eva. Pura means here we have to take that way. Shravana kale eva. That is what is Shravanam gives you knowledge. Knowledge means what? Knowledge means what? I am Brahman, which is Satyam. And other than that, whatever is there is mithya. Avidya and avidya karyam is mithya. And I, the Brahman, is Satyam. So therefore, Shravana kale eva. That is how the knowledge takes place. And therefore, Shravana kale eva, they were made useless. Tattva bodhena, Acharya says, through the knowledge of Atma, well, te ubhe badhite. Te ubhe. Avidya, avidya karyam. Both are badhite, both are negative. Made pratiti, that's all. They are there. They are there. You continue to experience. That's what he is going to say beautifully. You are going to you are going to experience them throughout the life. Ahankara and mamakara and everything you may experience. Please understand this. Sometime even a jnani may say, well, this, he's my son or he's my daughter or whatever. Maybe he may be having family or maybe wife or whatever. Suppose, grastha jnani. So grastha jnani may say like that. Oh, he's my wife. My wife is sick. Puja Swamiji says, I am Brahman, but my wife is sick. Whatever. Suppose if he says, I am telling you, it does not threaten anything. This is the knowledge where you have a clarity that you are the reality. You are only reality. Everything else what you experience is mithya. That is there. Your own body and others' body. Your own mind and others' mind. Your senses and other senses. Your prana and other prana. And whatever else. I am the truth of everything. If that clarity, that's called nishtha. I am the truth of everything. And therefore I am Brahman. I am limitless. And therefore once you have this kind of a nishtha, nothing can threaten you. They will not become non-existent. Nothing will become non-existent. They will be there. They will be there. Pratiti matram. That's a joy. So Jnani is free. No role. He is not bound by nivrutti or pravrutti. Let's read further. Baditam drishyatam akshaihi tena badho na drishyate jivanna khurna marjaram hanti hanyat katham mritah. Suppose now, because he is, raising several doubts and answering. Now some person questions, he has a doubt. So that is raised here. Suppose he says, that person says, if Dvaita Prapancha, this body, mind, intellect, these emotions all are negated totally, then I am free from trouble, etc. You said. But we would like to tell you one thing, that in case of this Atma Jnanam, they don't go away but continue to be experienced, you said. They all will be there totally. Your Jnanam cannot destroy anything. No, they cannot. Nothing will be destroyed. Before gaining knowledge, whatever were there, they are still there. Everything. Nothing is destroyed. Acha? Then, what do you do by this knowledge? We negate only the reality of them. We negate only the reality of them, exactly like the sunrise. When you know that there is no sunrise, you negate the sunrise, but you continue to experience the sunrise. Only thing, through science, you have negated the reality of the sunrise. You have not totally negated the experience of a sunrise. Experience of a sunrise will be there throughout the life, till you live. And so, here also in the same way, gaining Brahmajnanam means the old age will come, or old age has come, that will be there. The family will be there. Family problems, they will be there. Knee pain will be there. Headache will be there. Everything will continue. So then this pain also will continue. Will not, and that pain, knee pain, this pain, that pain, and family problems, this problem, all this, will not they hurt? Will not they threaten my knowledge? Should not I seek a Videha Mukti immediately after gaining knowledge? Should not I run away from all of them? Cave psychology. Well, so experience world should threaten my knowledge, I think. If they continue, someday they will attack and they rob away my this knowledge. Should not I eliminate totally? Or at least, suppose, two vikalpas are there after gaining knowledge. Either I should sit in nirvikalpaka samadhi forever, or I should drop the body immediately. because this youth said everything will continue. Earlier also I was having a knee pain. Now also I am having a knee pain. And earlier also, before gaining knowledge, I was having a headache. Now also I am gaining, because head is there, so headache also will be there. So Vidyaranya says, where after gaining knowledge, world has become, it can't threaten valid knowledge. So basically, because valid knowledge means centered on a Satyavastu. And for that he gives a reason. Kaimutika Nyaya we call. Kimuta. Kimuta means then what to talk of. So he gives that, example also here. Anyway, so when this person is ignorant and thought the world as Satyam, at that time also through Pramana Vichara Jnanam arising, falsifying the world, well, indicates that Jnanam is stronger than even the world. And what was thought as Satyam, you imagine, that world is Satyam. When you started the study, world was Satyam for you. As you gain knowledge, the world automatically gets converted into a Mithya category. Then what is stronger? Jnanam is stronger or world is stronger? If you can push aside the reality of the world by knowledge, then what is stronger? Knowledge is stronger or world is stronger? That's what he's asking. If world is stronger, then the knowledge will never take place. Knowledge will never take place, because that will win over. What is stronger will win over. And therefore, but that doesn't happen. As, depending upon, of course, one's adhikaritvam, but as person does a shravanam, then basically he understands the mithyatvam of the universe. So as the world is pushed aside, world is pushed aside, and therefore definitely compared to the jnanam, world is not stronger. Compared to the world, let us say, the jnanam is stronger. And then, if such a thing is there, that when you were considered world as a real, still the jnanam has pushed aside such a real world, then now you have falsified the world. Such a falsified world, how can it threaten the knowledge? Kim uta. Clear? This is what he says. So he says, Badhitam drishyata. Falsified. Badhitam is falsified. Mithya. Falsified drishyatam. Falsified world, let it continue. Drishyatam is let it be seen. Badhitam drishyatam. Badhitam jagat drishyatam. The falsified world for this jnani, we are talking about Jivan Mukta. Falsified world for this jnani, let it be seen, let it be experienced, let it continue. And then where Acharya gives an example, watching a fiction movie, etc. So in a cinema hall, it is false, well, still you watch that, and it cannot threaten your knowledge that it is a movie. It's just a plot. It is a movie, so it's an entertainment. It continues. Let it continue. People see people go to see a movie and they sit there 3 hours, and all kinds of things are there in a movie. Some tragic and other things. All masalas will be there. But before you enter and experience that movie world, whatever the world there is, so in your mind it is very clear that it is a movie. Means it is a false. And so after 3 hours you come back. Well, has not changed. Has not threatened your knowledge that it is just a movie. It has not threatened. And therefore for a jnani it is a whole show throughout the thing. You have a 3 hours entertainment by spending $50. He has an entertainment for whole of the life. Whole of the life. Continue to see one over the other show. And fortunately, Ishvara present himself to the jnani in varieties of the forms and varieties of the roles, and he literally sees a show. He literally sees a show. There is no doubt about it. He literally sees a whole show. Whenever he doesn't want to see the show, he will just close the curtains. That's it. He closes the curtains. There is no iota of reality. The fact that during the whole 3 years, your knowledge that it is just a show. There is no reality in that movie. As it continues, even while you are experiencing that movie, it has not threatened your knowledge that it is just a movie. It's the imagination. Same way for a jnani. And therefore, badhitam drishyata. Let this badhitam, let this mithya world be experienced. Why not? Akshahi drishyata. Badhitam akshahi drishyata. With the help of sense organ. Akshi means say eye. Akshaha means say sense organ. Pratyaksham. Aksham prati iti pratyaksham. So basically aksham is a sense organ. Akshi means a eye. So akshaihi drishyata. With the help of sense organs, let the world be experienced. Tena badaha na shakyate. Well, through that valid knowledge is not going through this experience. Valid knowledge is not going to be negated. Valid knowledge cannot be negated by experience which is opposite to knowledge. That's it. This is a silver line I told you before many classes, and let us remind this to ourselves. Valid knowledge cannot be negated by experience which is opposite to the knowledge. So I experience millions of stars, etc. in the sky. Still, my knowledge there is not threatened that every star is even bigger than the sun. Right? Therefore, similarly, experience of a flat earth also does not challenge my knowledge that earth is not flat. Experience of a stationary earth does not challenge my knowledge that the earth is not stationary. So, same way, worst force of the sorrow in my mind cannot threaten that I am Ananda. Okay? I'm not joking. Honestly, I'm telling you. You can imagine the glory of this. I tell you, no one in the world will have an imagine even that such a type of knowledge is there and which is just in the form of oneself. Just oneself. Therefore, Jnani is never frightened. So, Jivan akhuhu marjaram nahanti. Jivan akhuhu means a rat. It has a many meaning, but here we have to take a rat. Jivan akhuhu. A live rat. Marjaram nahanti. A live rat cannot kill a cat. Okay? So, live rat cannot kill a cat. Okay. This Paramananda Shishya is asking a question. I have a question. What? I heard that a live rat cannot kill a cat. Can dead rat kill a cat? What are you talking? Kimuta. Kimuta. When live rat cannot kill a cat, how come a dead rat kill a cat? When world was real life for you, at that time it was pushed aside by the knowledge. You have converted it into a falsified world. Now a dead world, falsified world. How can it threaten the knowledge? Amazing. What an example. So, when real world was there, Ajnana Kale cannot threaten my arrival of knowledge in me through Shravanam of the teacher. Then now it has been falsified. Such a falsified world, now how can it threaten my knowledge that I am Brahman? No answer. Not a single person can answer Vidyaranya. Such a solid argument. No answer. Try. I am giving you 1 week to challenge this answer. Mrutaha katham hanyat. So, Jivan akhu marjaram na hanti. Mrutaha katham hanyat. When a live rat, cannot kill a cat, then a dead rat, how can he is going to kill cat? This is a Kaimutik Nyaya first example. Now he gives a second example in verse 280. Let's read that. Api Pashupatastrena Vittah Chinnamamaryaha Nishphaleshu Vitunnangah Nangshatityatra Kaprama. He is giving another drishtanta for a Kaimautik Nyaya, that even worst kind of a prarabdha also cannot disturb this knowledge. So he gives an example of a person who was very, very strong. Pashupata astrena viddaha. Such a person was pierced. I mean, his body was pierced with a Pashupatastra. My God. Pashupatehe idam Pashupatam. Pashupati, Shiva. So this is a particular weapon which is given by Pashupati, Shiva. Pashupatastra. Most powerful weapon. And this person was basically struck with the, means struck by this Pashupata directly in the heart. And still he was so strong that this person is unaffected. Just think, this person is unaffected, suppose. Yaha na mamara. So it says here, Pashupatastrena viddaha api yaha nam chet. Pashupatastrena viddaha chet. Just think that such a astra, well, still he cannot affect this person. I mean, yaha na mamara. Mrudhatu, you know very well, means to die. Mamara is a lit prayoga. In a lit prayoga, paroksha bhutkal. So there is a reduplication takes place, and you are aware of such kind of a verbs. Babhuva you might have heard perhaps. Babhuva. It is there in our to show the past which no one has experienced. That's called paroksha bhutkal. So anyway, yaha na mamara. Even with such a kind of a Pashupatastra, which is a powerful weapon, and it was struck in his heart, still this, suppose this person is not tormented, he did not die, then iti chet, suppose this is there, then now such a person, somebody wanted to kill with a weapon made up of a coconut leaf. You know, in coconut leaf, it's a big leaf, you know, in the middle portion, take the middle portion, not the end portion, not the initial portion, middle portion, and in it has leaves, right? Coconut leaf, whole leaf, has also leaves like this. So you remove them, and that just a middle portion is there, and you make a arrow out of that. And you make an arrow out of that, and with that arrow, suppose I mean with this arrow, this person was struck. Which person? The person which was struck earlier by Pashupatastra, and he was not affected, he did not die. Such a person was now struck with this kind of an arrow. How is going to affect? It's not going to affect. That's what he says here. So nishphaleshu vitunnangaha. I will explain you. Nishphaleshu means nishphala issue. What they call it as a, when they create an arrow, they say a tip of arrow is decked with basically a metal, and then that metal part is dipped into a poison. So that is called a arrow which has a phalam. Phalam is this part, arrow with that, a deck with the metal and dipped in poison. And suppose such a sharp metal tip etc. is not there, and then that arrow is called nishphalam. Clear? Because arrow, if does not have that tip, metal part with a pointed tip, that arrow is not going to be fruitful. That's how the initial part, they call it as a phalam. That metal tip with a pointed arrow, that only can do the job in an arrow. Now, if it is not there, such a arrow is called nishphala. So nishphala issue, this sharp metal tip is not there. When with this kind of an arrow made up of a coconut leaf, etc., vitunnangaha, V plus tut dhatu means basically to strike. So vitunna means struck, and angaha, body, with such a arrow, nishphala issue, basically this person, who was this person who was hit by Pashupatastra, still he was not affected. That person was hit by this kind of an arrow. Well, and nangshati iti, he is well, when I point, I mean, when I shoot this arrow towards such a person, he will perish. Nangshati iti. Suppose somebody makes such a statement, well, ka pramavartate. Acharya says, well, who will have a faith in such statement? Who will have a faith in here? Prama means faith. So, such a strong person, and he's going to get killed by my this arrow, which is nishphala. And if he says nangshati, he will perish. If a person makes a statement, ka pramavartate, who can have faith in such statement? Anyway, kimuta, again, kimuta. If he is not struck, and if he is struck by the Pashupadastra and he did not die, then what to talk of? This nishphala issue is going to, with this, that issue is going to die. Who will believe this? Same way, Jnanam before study of the Vedanta cannot be threatened by the world. In fact, world is threatened. That's how he has pushed the reality of the world. And therefore, Jnanam, even before study of the Vedanta, means at the time of a study of Vedanta, cannot be threatened by the world. Then after study of the Vedanta and gaining Nishtha, how such a world, activity, how emotions, everything, you consider everything in that. How all these emotions and external world and external people and activity, and how it is going to threaten my Jnana. This is Jivan Mukta. How it is going to threaten my knowledge that I am. That's how it is. 281. Adava vidyaya chitraihi svakaryai jrumbhamanaya yudhva bodho jayat sodya sudrudo badhyatam katham. So Vidyaranya dramatically presents now a glory of this knowledge. You have to imagine. So here now knowledge, not Jnani now. We are talking about Jnani, or Jnani is Jivan Mukti, let us say. So here, of course, now knowledge is imagined here, not the Jnani as such wise person, but the knowledge. Knowledge is imagined here now in this verse as a Yodha. Yodha. Yodha means a soldier. Soldier in a battlefield. You just imagine, mind is a battlefield. And in that, this Jnanam is a Yodha, soldier. And in front of that knowledge, there are many warriors. Avidya and all other misconceptions born of avidya. In short, I can tell you in other way. Avidya and Sanchita Agami Prarabdha. Okay? It has come everything in there. So, whole battalion of soldiers are there, warriors are there, millions, every misconception or in a single person is born of avidya, soldier. Avidya Mata has given birth to many soldiers. That's how Gandhari has 100 sons. Anyway, so, and then war takes place between them. And war was going on since 3 years, Pancadasi course. Now, Jnanam, which is this Yodha Jnanam in the mind, battlefield, it has destroyed all avidya and all misconception. And he wanted to write his autobiography. And he writes only one sentence, I am Brahman. He cannot write further. Because whatever you write is merely an imagination. Is merely an imagination. No iota of reality. Not a single thing. Imagined contrary things can remain together. It cannot. All. He can write only one sentence. I am Brahman. That's it. This is Nishtha. I am Brahman. That's the reality. So this Jnanam soldier has destroyed all. And now raising hand, this Yodha Veera, this Jnanam stands, and other soldiers in the battlefield of mind they are fallen dead. So bodha means this jnanam, yudva, having fought. This warrior, jnanam, having fought every other thing. So poor guru tries to push this jnanam, and mind is a battlefield, and with these millions of misconception avidya are present, and well, they are destroyed. Yudva, having fought with this. So let's read further. Adau avidyaya, in the beginning, avidyaya saha. In the beginning, with ignorance, knowledge fought not only this avidya, swakaryaihi saha, yudva. Along its karya, swakarya, avidya karya, samshaya and viparya. Yes, fought with samshaya, viparyaya, that is the karyam of avidya, and also with avidya. And well, he fought with everything. I am talking about a person who is continuously listening. I am telling you, what is samshaya in a person who is listening to Shastra? You know, Swamiji, I have a doubt. What? I am sadhan chatushte sampadna or not? That doubt I have. Well, this knowledge has destroyed that doubt. Okay? What are you talking? Sadhan Chatushta Sampati is required, and you said it is destroyed. It is destroyed. Even you have to drop this notion that, well, I am Sadhan Chatushta Sampanna or not. That doubt also has to go. Guru says, well, you are not mine. So, don't worry about it. Well, Viparyaya, Vasana. Swamiji, I think out of 100% Dehatma Vasana, now I think I have almost neutralized 30% of Viparya. I have neutralized. Still 70% is there in me. My God. So mind alone is an Atma for you. Where you need a Shravanam. Forget about this Nididhyasanam now. Leave aside. Leave aside. Leave aside. If you said you have a samshaya that you are having a sadhan chatushta sampatti or not, and if you have a viparya that, oh Swamiji, still I think that I am deha, several times I think I am a deha, all vasanas have not gone from me. Oh, forget about nishtha. Yeah, this samshaya viparya is avidya karya. Avidya is there. Better do shravan. He has sthula sukshma karana sharira vyatirikta, and still he says sukshma, I am a sukshma sharira, I am a karana sharira, etc. Anyway, so samshaya viparya vasana, etc. Jrumbha manaya, avidyaya swakaryaihi jrumbha manaya avidyaya. Jrumbha manaya means what, you know, which has really reinforced. Avidya is a she. She doesn't have power to fight with anything. She needs support of her children. So this samshaya, viparya, all these children, they fight. Anyway, so jrumbhamanaya means jrumbhamanaya avidya. So the vidya which is reinforced, boosted by the samshaya and viparya, etc. That is how avidya continuously tells, boost is a secret of my energy. That is why avidya says this. So point is, so what type of a vasana, samshaya, etc. that also has been told. Chitraihi, vichitraihi, varieties of samshaya. This I am all talking about. People used to ask me, what is Jivan Mukti? Swamiji, what is the lakshanam of a Jivan Mukti? Any samshaya in the mind, you will not claim. People feel the height of ignorance is this. My mind does not have any samshaya. And then I claim that I am free from samshaya. That is Jivan Mukti. Forget about it. That day will not come. That day will not come. A samshaya arises and yet you won't claim as you. That's jnana. That's jnana. Viparya arises. That's what we saw also. Viparya arises and you say Viparya is mithya, arising in the mind. That is knowledge. Samshaya Viparya arises and you say, I am having a Samshaya, I am having a Viparya. Where is mithya? Where is mithya? You are Satyam and the Samshaya which is mithya you have combined. Chit Jada Granthi is the Avidya Lakshanam. Is Avidya Lakshanam. And therefore, this kind of Chitraihi, Vichitraihi, Karane Tritiya. So, with varieties of Samshaya and Viparyaya, Jrumbhamanaya, Avidyaya. So, this Avidya which is reinforced with this various types of Samshaya and Viparyaya, etc. Well, ultimately, what happened? Yudhva, along with this Jnanam, soldier, has fought with all of this. Yodaha, Yudhva, Bodhaha, Yudhva, Bodhaha is Yodaha, right? Bodhaha is a Yodaha. So this Jnanam fought with all this, Saha Jayat, Saha Ajayat. It has won ultimately, at last won. Saha Adya Srudridaha. And this knowledge, well, basically has become now firm. Katham Badhyata. Then how can that knowledge be threatened by these dead soldiers in form of avidya and tatkaryam? So, you have not to protect that knowledge. No change in ashrama also is needed. If you are a grihastha, remain in grihasthashrama, but nothing can affect you. Who said so, Swamiji? Why you said lastly, you said something? Yeah. Pashyan, Shunvan, Sprishan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shvasan, Pralapan, Visrujan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Naiva Kinchit Karomiti, Yukto Manyete, all experience will continue. All experience, all your situations, everything continues. Grihastha, your family will be there happy. In fact, they will be more happy. If you have this wisdom, you will be blessing to them. You will be blessing to the society. Not just family, all the families. Wherever you are, be there. Don't change anything. I am Nityamukta Atma. Such mindset is required. So a changed mindset is the result of Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om